this is Tara from Peaceable Kingdom, and today we're going to be playing the fairy game. The fairy game is for kids ages 5 and up and for 2 to 4 players. And in the fairy game, players are working together to stop Mr. Winter, who wants to turn the fairy garden to ice with his frosty breath. Players need to help the fairies add colored jewels to the magic wand before Mr. Winter freezes one of the flowers. In the fairy game, kids learn strategy and shared decision making. To set up the fairy game, place each jewel in the center of its matching flower. You want to have the snowflake tokens in a pile near the board. You want to make sure that your fairy garden cards are shuffled and in a pile near the board, face down. And you want to make sure that your snowstorm cards are also shuffled and in a pile face down near the board. To get started playing the fairy game, players are going to take turns drawing a card from the fairy garden pile. We're going to walk you through what each of the cards means, but pretty much in the beginning you're just going to be building your hand of cards to start working towards special actions. So if I was the first player, I would draw a card. Oh no, I have Mr. Winter, so what I need to do now is turn over a snowstorm card. So this is telling me that I need to put one of these snowflake tokens on the pink flower, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. The way that we'll end up losing at the fairy game is if Mr. Winter is able to get 4 of these snowflake tokens on any one flower. That means he's frozen that flower and the game's over and we would need to start again. So I have just put these 2 cards in the discard pile, and now it is the next player's turn to flip a card. Great, so we've gotten a fairy card. So there's not actually anything I can do with this yet. To do anything with the fairy cards, you actually need to have at least 3 of them of the same color. So as a player, I'm just gonna hang on to this little pink fairy. I'm not gonna perform any special actions right now, and we're gonna go ahead and let the next player take their turn. So if they were to draw a card, great, they've got a rainbow fairy. She's kind of like a wild card, so she can stand in anyone's hand as a fairy card of any color. So as you can see, the gameplay has progressed here. Some of the players have collected cards in their hands. You would normally be holding them. And so now it's my turn. So I'm gonna go ahead, you can see I have 2 pink fairies in my hand and I'm gonna draw a card. Great, another pink fairy. That means I now have 3 fairies of the same color in my hand. That means I can take a special action, and I'm going to be able to collect a jewel of the same color that matches the fairies. So pink fairies, pink jewel, I can now place that jewel in the magic wand, and that means that we're just 1 step closer to filling up the magic wand. Once I've performed the special action, I then need to discard my cards. So if another player was taking a turn and they were to draw a wand card, that gives you the power to remove 1 snowflake token from any flower. To be able to use this wand, you have one player in the game has to have a fairy card in their hand that matches the color of the flower that you want to remove the snowflake token from. So for example, if I wanted to remove one of the snowflake tokens from this purple flower, which I do, there's 2, we're halfway to Mr. Winter, one of the players has to have a purple fairy. Lo and behold, the friend to my right does have a purple fairy, so we are able to take that token off and set it aside. And we also could have used the rainbow fairy. Again, she's kind of like a wild card. So then we need to remove that purple fairy from play and discard these cards. If a player draws a golden unicorn card, that means that I am able to give any one of my cards, whether it's a fairy card, a wand card, or another unicorn, to another player. So we can decide as a team how to use that. So, for example, if I have a orange fairy card in my hand, I see that my friend to the left has 2 orange fairy cards and we still need to collect that orange jewel. You bet I'm going to use this golden unicorn to give that orange fairy to my teammate. So then on his or her next turn, they can then use these 3 orange fairy cards to collect that orange jewel and place it on our magic wand. Remember, to win at the fairy game, you need to have all 4 of the jewels on your magic wand before Mr. Winter places 4 of his snowflake tokens on any one flower. Thanks for watching.